Hi, my name is Hermione, and I'm from Greece. Please like and subscribe. My dad left before I was born, but I grew up with the most amazing mom who was a hairdresser at a really fancy salon. But when I was 10, I ran into the salon one day to show mom my report card while she was working on a beautiful woman. Suddenly, I tripped over something and went flying straight into mom, who ended up snipping off half the woman's hair, and she went ballistic.
You moron. What have you done? I look like a hideous boy. I'll make sure you never work in this town again.
And before I knew it, mom was fired. I was really sorry, but she wouldn't hear it.
It was an accident. Darling, don't worry, I'll find another job.
But the woman wasn't kidding. Mom couldn't get a job anywhere in town as a hairdresser. And soon enough, we were too broke to even make rent. Then one day, mom said she'd talk to her older sister, and we'd be moving to another town to live with her. I'd never met this aunt before, and when we got to her house, my jaw dropped. Her mansion looked as big as the Parthenon. As a maid let us in, a plump woman dressed in expensive clothes walked into the hall, my aunt. I rushed forward to hug her, but she stopped me.
What are you doing? Don't touch me. Just do a curtsy.
Who was she? The freaking wife of Zeus. Just then, a pretty girl about my age came running in and she stomped on my foot.
You're ugly. I can't believe you're my cousin.
Wow, I had to live with these people now. Of all the rooms in the mansion, Aunt gave me and my mom the dusty old attic to share. And at dinner time, I could feel her eyes on me as I helped myself to more food. She seemed to be the cheapest millionaire ever. But I promised I'd behave well and not cause mom any trouble, which was easier said than done. My cousin Lydia was a year older than me, and I soon discovered that Aunt was obsessed with making her a model. One day, I found Lydia balancing a pile of books on her head while her trainer screamed at her to walk straight without dropping them. The very next second, they all came crashing.
Lydia, you have no balance, no grace. How will you be a model? You skinny girl. Come try this.
To my surprise, I walked across the room with the books. Easily, Lydia angrily tried again, and this time, she went crashing into a very expensive vase.
Mom, look what Hermione did.
What? Aunt came charging into the room like an angry bull, and no matter how much I protested, she wouldn't hear a word, and she actually took money from mom to pay for it, which was her 2 months' salary. Gosh, Aunt was such a witch. Soon after, mom got me enrolled in the same school as Lydia. On the very first day, I just sat down at the cafeteria where she and her friends joined me.
We thought we'd give you company. You've clearly made no friends.
I'm fine, actually.
So Lydia tells us you're her maid's daughter. It's so amazing that her mom is paying for your school.
What? No, she's not. My mom is.
Ew, your mom packed you meatballs for lunch? So uncool. We only eat salad.
Well, I guess you have to watch what you're eating. Suddenly, Lydia leapt forward angrily and rubbed my lunch all over my face.
Did you just call me fat? Call me that again and I will end you.
With that, she and her friends walked away. I wanted to kick her butt so bad, but I didn't want to get into trouble. I just tried to keep my head down and focus on my studies. But Lydia and her friends would find some way to bully me. And it didn't help that I looked really bad in Lydia's oversized hand-me-downs. When Lydia's 15th birthday came around, Aunt threw her a huge birthday bash, and even though she had tons of servants, she made me slave away in the kitchen too. I finally managed to escape and snuck up to the table with a plate. Just then, Lydia came running and snatched it.
What do you think you're doing?
Are you stupid? I'm about to eat, so give that back.
No, it's my birthday and I decide who eats. And you can't.
Oh yes, I will. What you gonna do? Go crying to mommy, you big baby.
What did you just call me?
I said you're a big baby. With that, I grabbed a chunk of cake and threw it at her face. She pounced on me, and we went crashing straight into the food table. As we threw food at each other, Lydia's friends also joined in, and a food fight broke out. When Aunt arrived at the scene, she started screaming like a maniac, and all the kids fled while Lydia burst into tears that her birthday was ruined. And then Aunt turned to me.
You clean up this mess right now, or I'll throw you and your mother out tonight.
Do what you like, you miserable creature. I'm not cleaning. I dashed to my room. Oh God, what had I just done? A few hours passed and no one came to my room. I was beginning to get worried. Why mom wasn't home yet? So I snuck down quietly to find her wiping the walls and floors clean. Mom, why are you doing that? I'm really sorry. I'll do it.
It's okay, Hermione. I feel awful that you have to live here because I can't afford a place. I promise someday we'll leave, but we can't just yet.
You don't have to feel bad about anything. I'll be good. I'll even say sorry to Aunt. But I don't understand how you two are even related.
We never got along. Even as kids, she always wanted to have everything I had. Now she has so much more, and she's still a witch.
We both burst out laughing as we cleaned the mess. I'd put up with anything as long as I had Mom by my side. But after the birthday, Lydia and her friends were being a lot meaner at school. One day during recess, she and her friends started hounding me in the corner.
Hey, Twiggy, you're light as a stick, I'm sure.
Oh, she is. Why don't you go see for yourself?
Suddenly, the guy just picked me up as I kicked and screamed, "Let me go! Put me down right now!" But they threw me in the janitor's closet and locked it. Just then, I heard them all running off, and seconds later, the principal opened the door. He'd seen everything, and he punished the bullies by suspending them for a week. And when I got home, who was Aunt furious at? Me.
It's your fault my darling was suspended. She's just a kid, and she's never been punished for anything in her life.
I'm a kid too, and she got punished for bullying me.
Well, if she's getting punished, you will too. You'll serve all the guests at my party tomorrow, or else.
I didn't want Mom to suffer again, so I kept my mouth shut. Aunt's party was full of super rich friends, and I was busy serving them when a lady caught up with me.
Hi, you're really pretty. Are you interested in modeling?
Before I could answer, Aunt interrupted.
Her A model? No, she's just a maid. Don't waste your time on her.
But you're naturally built. For a model, you're perfect. I can see you being Miss World, I tell you.
Turns out the lady was the owner of a big fashion magazine, and she wanted to have me as her cover page model.
What? That was supposed to be Lydia, not this stupid maid.
Well, darling, I'm sorry Lydia isn't fit for my magazine.
Aunt went totally bonkers. She grabbed the woman's drink and threw it in her face. Then she started screaming at everyone.
Party's over. Everyone get out. And you're grounded.
But when I told Mom later all about it, she was so excited. She insisted we'd go together to meet this woman. We went to the lady's office the very next day, and she was really happy that I showed up. She immediately signed me up for a big magazine shoot. I woke up super pumped on the day, but seconds later, I was screaming at my reflection, that which Lydia had chopped off my hair in my sleep. I looked terrible, but Mom came to the rescue. She gave me a beautiful pixie cut, and the magazine lady absolutely loved it. And I totally nailed the shoot. Everyone thought I was a natural. Within the next 6 months, I was on lots of magazine covers and billboards. And suddenly, things at school changed too. I was no longer the skinny kid with hand-me-downs. I was the popular model kid now, with a wardrobe that fit me just right. And the best part was watching Lydia burn. A few weeks later, there was a fashion show at school, and Lydia immediately signed up for it too. On the day of the event, I decided to take a quick shower in the gym before getting ready. But as I stepped out, I saw to my horror that Lydia had gathered all my clothes, and she just grinned at me and she walked out. Oh my God, what was I gonna do without any clothes? I looked around, and the only thing I saw were the curtains. I quickly pulled them down and made them into a dress with safety pins. And it didn't look half bad. Lydia looked shocked when I walked down the ramp in my curtain dress and blew her a kiss. When I was announced as the winner, she went insane. She literally jumped on me trying to snatch the trophy away. She would have poked my eye out if some teachers hadn't rescued me. That night, I was walking down to the kitchen when I heard Lydia and Aunt talking about me.
Just make her go away, Mom. I can't stand her anymore. She's ruining my life.
Okay, baby. I'll get rid of her somehow. You know, I got rid of her father too, a long time ago.
Wait, what? Got rid of my father? Is that what you just said?
What are you doing here? Can't I have some privacy in my own house?
Just shut up and tell me what you meant about Dad.
Yes, I got rid of him after my stupid husband left me. I fell in love with your father, but he fell head over heels in love with your stupid mom. I couldn't stand it, so I convinced him that your mom was pregnant with someone else's child, and he left. If I couldn't have him, no one could.
While I stared at her, speechless, I heard Mom behind me.
How could you do this to me? All these years I thought it was him, but it was actually you. Are you completely crazy?
Why should you have everything? You didn't deserve him anyway. I would have given him the world.
But before she could finish, Mom leapt forward and slapped her hard.
You've had this coming for a long time. Come, Hermione, we aren't staying here another minute.
We packed our bags and checked into a hotel for a few days. We decided that the first thing we had to do was track down Dad. Mom started calling up their mutual contacts, and luckily, we found out soon that Dad lived in another city now, and that he owned a $1 million company. My dad was a millionaire? The very next day, we flew over and showed up at his company. Mom asked me to wait outside while she went to talk to him in his office. Half an hour later, Mom called me, excitedly. As soon as Dad saw me, he hugged me tight.
I can't believe you're my daughter. This is a lot to take in. I'm so sorry for leaving. I should have been there for you. I never should have believed your aunt's lies. I never want to spend another minute without you both.
He then showed us a picture of Mom in his wallet and said he'd never gotten married because he'd never loved anyone the same way again. Soon after we moved in with Dad, I planned a wedding for my parents. Because they never got the chance earlier, I decided to personally invite Aunt, so I went to her place.
Come begging for a place to stay again, haven't you?
I handed her the wedding card. I'm rich enough to buy your house now, but that's not why I'm here. The wedding is next week. You and your daughter can come to witness that true love can't be separated, but evil people always end up alone in a big house. You are the best example. I walked out, and I never saw her again. I was my mom's bridesmaid at the wedding, and it was the happiest moment of my life to see her get everything she truly deserved. And now, I'm living my best life with my family. Hello, I'm Lily from Estonia. I grew up in an orphanage with my brother Joe. He's 2 years older than me, and we're total opposites. But before I continue, please like and subscribe, and you might get a kiss from your true love. My big brother Joe had shiny blonde hair and blue eyes, and he always got all the attention.
Look at this gorgeous kid.
He's so beautiful.
But I was the opposite. I had dark hair and dark brown eyes, and my skin wasn't as fair, and no one ever said I was pretty. They hardly noticed me at all. Joe was tall and outgoing, and everybody liked him. I was short for my age, and the mean girls loved to tease me.
Oh, poor Lily. She's just so ugly. How does it feel to be a loser with a perfect brother?
But Joe always had my back.
Maybe you should learn to respect others.
Oh, for you, Joe, I'll learn anything. I'll learn how to respect others and how to cook and clean. I'll even learn how to give birth.
You don't learn how to give birth, you just give birth.
I agree. You're right. You're so smart. See, Joe, I learned my lesson. I respected her. Now love me, Joe, please.
In school, things weren't much better. Joe was super smart and almost a genius.
Joe, that's amazing. A perfect score.
I could barely pass my exams, and I had a hard time paying attention in class. Sometimes I'd talk to the other kids when I wasn't supposed to, and I got out of my seat and I ran around the room, but I couldn't help it.
Lily, sit down.
Most of the teachers didn't like me at all. One time, I was in grumpy old Miss Koppel's class, and I really had to go to the bathroom.
The break just ended 2 minutes ago. You couldn't go then. Oh, wait, you were busy. The only thing you do in school? No bathroom for you.
But it's an emergency. Miss Koppel didn't budge. I tried to hold it, but a minute later, I peed my pants. Joe caught me crying in the hallway.
What's wrong?
Miss Koppel wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. Joe's face turned bright red, and he stormed into Miss Koppel's class.
You stinky witch. Maybe a bitter old lady like you shouldn't be teaching. You should be at home fighting with your husband, who's lost his hearing because of your constant screaming and will go blind soon, looking at your hideous face.
Miss Koppel sent Joe to the principal's office, and he got detention for 2 weeks. I felt so bad. I'm sorry. I'm weird and stupid and always causing trouble.
Don't say that about yourself, Lily. None of that is true.
Yes, it is. You're just pretending it's not. Don't worry about me and my problems. I'll handle them on my own. You don't have to be my big brother anymore.
No way. I'll always be your big brother, and I'll always have your back no matter what. And one day, I hope you'll see how special and smart and beautiful you are.
Joe hugged me, and I cried like a big baby. Then one day, the most amazing thing happened. We were adopted by a really nice couple. They had a big house. Joe and I got our own rooms and new clothes. They even enrolled us in a fancy school. I was nervous at first because school was still hard and I always got distracted. I was scared that my new teachers would hate me too. But then, my new parents took me to the doctor.
Lily has ADHD, which means she's a bit hyperactive and has trouble paying attention. But she's a smart girl. Her IQ is well above average.
I went to therapy for a while to help me learn to stay focused. It was difficult at first, but Joe and my parents were really supportive, and eventually, I got better. I started getting A's on my tests, and I even won Student of the Month for best behavior. When Joe and I reached high school, our lives totally changed. One day, Joe and I were hanging out at the mall when a strange woman ran up to us.
Your face is a work of art. Have you ever thought of being a model?
Not really,
Stick with me, darling. I'm gonna make you a star.
The woman was a modeling agent. Joe signed a contract with her, and soon, every other weekend, he was doing photo shoots all over the city. My life was much better too. My grades were at the top of my class. I had a bunch of new friends. And when I looked in the mirror for the first time, I liked what I saw, especially since my mom always told me how pretty I was and that I should love myself just as I am. I had a newfound confidence, and everyone noticed. Even though Joe and I weren't together all the time, we had our own lives, and that was okay. We were always there for each other. Then one day, our dad got a new job, and we moved across town. Another family, twice as rich as my parents, lived next door, and they had a daughter my age. The moment Joe saw her, he started acting strange. He was really dying to meet her. Oh, love at first sight, something only beautiful people do. Why don't you just go over there and say hello?
Just say hello. It's not that easy. It has to be just right. She's my destiny. She's my true love. We're meant to be.
We started thinking of ways to make them meet. What made it harder was that she was homeschooled. We saw a lot of sophisticated teachers coming and leaving the house. Joe took one of my shirts and went to her house pretending he found it in the yard, and it belonged to the girl. But a maid opened the door and took it. One time, I saw the mystery girl leaving her house, and I started calling out random names. Emily, Sarah, Anna, Amber. But she still didn't look up. A couple of weeks passed, and I thought Joe would have moved on, but he was still determined to meet this girl. He hatched a new plan every day, but none of them worked. I needed a break, so I snuck off to the park to sketch. As I was sketching an oak tree, I heard someone walk up behind me. I turned to see a cute boy smiling at me.
Those are pretty good. Your shading and detail are amazing.
I froze. I'd never shown anyone my drawings before.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
The boy's name was Ryan. He was a couple of years older than me, and he was a talented artist. We talked for hours. Every time he looked into my eyes, my heart skipped a beat.
Geez, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was so late. I have to go.
Maybe we could meet up tomorrow and talk about art.
Sorry, I can't.
I was such a dork. What was I thinking, asking a cute boy like Ryan out? He must already have a girlfriend. I wanted to crawl into a hole. It's okay. Sorry I asked.
No, it's not like that. I'd love to see you again, but I'm leaving for New York tomorrow for art school.
My heart sank.
This doesn't have to be goodbye.
Ryan pulled out one of his sketches from his notebook. He wrote his phone number on the back and gave it to me.
I want you to have it.
I can't take this.
You can give it back when I see you again.
On my walk home, every time I thought about Ryan, I couldn't help but smile. When I was getting close to home, and then I saw something insane. The mystery girl was scaling the side of her house like a cat burglar. I hid behind a tree and texted Joe, but then the girl came charging at me like a maniac. She tried to grab my phone. Give it to me. Let go, you crazy girl. My phone slipped out of my hand, fell to the ground and broke. I was so I turned to yell at her, but then she started bawling like a big baby.
I'm sorry about your phone. I just didn't know what to do.
Her name was Sophia, and her parents made her break up with her boyfriend because he was poor.
They won't let me see him or talk to him. My heart's been ripped to pieces. It hurts so bad. Please make it stop.
Don't cry. Things will be okay.
How?
Thankfully, Joe walked up just then. Sophia took one look at him and got all googly-eyed. Then she got confused.
I can't do this.
Sophia pushed Joe and ran away crying. The next day, Sophia showed up at her door.
What I did to you wasn't cool. I was having a hard time.
If you don't mind me asking, what's wrong?
Well, I'm broken.
Excuse me, if I could just squeeze past you.
Each time life smiles at me, bad things happen. Shortly after, I fell in love with our gardener's son. It was a secret because I knew my parents would never approve. I don't know how, but they found out and things got really bad.
I am so sorry.
If you could just step to the side a bit, I could get out of your way.
And they fired him and his father and forced me to break up with him. Then they took my phone and homeschooled me for a while. My dad is an important politician and he can't risk his reputation. And now every morning I wake up in a puddle of tears.
That's so sad.
Yes, very sad. I've got an idea. Why don't you two be friends? It might make you both feel better. Over the next few months, Joe and Sophia started getting closer, and so did our parents. Joe started dressing in expensive clothes, buying Sophia fancy gifts, and he'd brag to Sophia and her parents about how much money he made modeling. Once, Sophia's parents invited us for dinner.
Oh, neighbors, you have such a strong, confident, independent young man. I bet girls are fighting over him all the time.
Yes, but I have eyes only for one girl.
As Joe looked at Sophia, and she blushed, everyone noticed the two and smiled.
Oh, this is wonderful. We've been so worried about Sophia. I'm so happy she's found someone like you. We had to protect her, you know. She was tricked and manipulated by a dirty, poor boy that stole her heart.
Ugh, poor people. You can't trust any of them. They're all liars and cheats.
That's not true.
Oh, you sweet, naive girl. You'll learn soon enough.
Then Sophia's parents laughed at me, like what I said was some big joke. I'm not naive. You're just wrong. Joe and I used to be poor. We're not liars and cheats. We're not dirty and we're not bad people.
Joe's an exception, of course. Who knew an adopted orphan could be so perfect? You guys hit the jackpot with your son. Your daughter, well, she's now Sophia.
You're right about that, honey.
Joe lowered his head. My parents looked away, and I was about to explode. What's that supposed to mean?
Thank you for the meal. We must get going.
When we got home, my parents sat me and Joe down for a talk.
Joe, we don't want you seeing Sophia anymore.
No, that's not happening. I love her. You can't tell me what to do.
Stop yelling at Dad.
Son, what her parents said about your sister is unacceptable.
They were just joking. They're really nice once you get to know them.
Are you blind? Sophia's parents are jerks. And ever since you've been hanging out with them, you've changed.
If I have to impress Sophia's parents to get their blessing, then I'll do it. True love is worth it, but you wouldn't know anything about love. You've never had a boyfriend, and you look like you sleep in a trash can.
Don't talk to your sister like that.
That's enough. No more Sophia, and that's final.
Then Joe got mad and shoved Dad. Dad fell and hit his head hard on the table. Dad! I rushed to Dad's. He was really hurt. Mom called the ambulance. Then I looked up and saw Joe.
I'm sorry.
Joe ran out of the house. Dad had a minor concussion, and we spent the night in the emergency room. By the time we got back home, all of Joe's things were gone. We heard from the neighbors that he and Sophia moved into her parents' villa in Paris. Dad was weak after the injury, so I helped him out at the office. Staying on top of my schoolwork and helping Dad was tough, but I enjoyed spending more time with him. My parents and I tried calling Joe, but he never answered, which made me really sad. My new friend Ryan always found ways to cheer me up. He sent me funny sketches and YouTube videos. One summer, he came back to town and we sat under the oak tree. We saw a boy and a girl playing on the grass, and I started to cry.
What's wrong?
I miss my brother. He was my best friend and always had my back. I'm scared I'll never see him again.
He's your brother and he could never stop loving you. I'm sure he'll come back to you one day.
Then Ryan handed me a sketchbook, and I drew a picture of me and Joe. Ryan encouraged me to study art, and eventually I started selling my drawings. 5 years later, we got married in a small ceremony in our backyard, and soon after, we had a baby. But there were complications. I felt this horrible pain, and the machine started to beep. As the doctors raced to save me, I cried out, "Joe, my brother Joe, come to me." Then I fainted. I woke up from a coma 2 days later, and when I opened my eyes, I saw Joe and Sophia sitting beside me with tears in their eyes. Joe?
Yes, Lily.
Is that you?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, Lily. I'm so sorry for everything.
I looked up at my parents. They smiled and nodded. I knew from the look in their eyes that they'd forgiven Joe and wanted me to do the same. You broke our promise. You said you'd always have my back, but you chose Sophia and her parents over us.
My parents are just mean and have been controlling my life since forever. We had enough and we couldn't take it anymore. So we left and they cut us off.
But it's been so hard. I couldn't find work. We barely had enough money for food and rent. But I was ashamed to come back and ask for help.
We felt like we broke your family. We didn't want to make things worse.
Then we heard you were in a coma, so we came immediately. I couldn't let you down again. Lily, I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm asking you to let me earn the privilege to be your big brother again.
You'll always be my big brother. I just wanted to see you. I would have helped you no matter what. Then Joe hugged me, and I hugged him back. Hi, I'm Nancy from Nevada. Before I start my action movie story, please like and subscribe. Being stuck in the orphanage, you would think snagging a new foster home would be lit. But nah, not for me. I messed up every shot by acting all crazy and throwing tantrums that made couples think twice. I'd seen firsthand how kids were moved from foster home to foster home, like there's some unwanted goods. And I didn't want that to ever be me, until Mr. and Mrs. John were the most interesting couple I'd ever seen.
We've heard nothing but great things about you, Pet. I hope we get along.
Yeah, fun. Can we just go now? Oh, I just knew living with them had to be interesting, but nothing could have prepared me for the next incredibly crazy week of my life. After driving for a few minutes in their tinted SUV, we stopped outside a huge mansion. Just then, Mrs. John handed me a carton filled with a box of cookies. Oh, are you trying to bribe me with these?
They're not for you. Deliver them to that mansion.
Wait, what in the world do you think I am?
Hey, kiddo, don't worry. We'll reward you for this. All you have to do is ring a bell and leave before the door opens. Now be quick!
It was all very confusing for me. I wanted to say no, but the cold look on their faces made me think again. Okay, chill out, Crazilla. I did as I was told and rang the bell. But before I could get away, I tripped and fell, face first. And it must have triggered an alarm system because the whole compound instantly started blaring red and sprinklers came on. And just then, Mr. John grabbed me. And the next minute, we're in the car and gone within seconds. So cookies, huh? Is that like my new job description? Great task for a girl guide, am I right? No one said a word, and we rode in silence. But what were the cookies all about? About an hour later, we pulled up to this large mansion. And when I walked in it, it was clear that this was not an ordinary home. There were a bunch of kids doing different things all over the house. Some were dancing, others were training in karate, and others were busy clacking on their laptops like maniacs. Gosh, why did they adopt me when they had these many kids already? I was kind of freaked out seeing the entire scenario of the mansion. It was like a whooping kids' mill, and I was hit with the freaking rules before I could even say hi to anyone. Not that anyone wanted to talk to me. They just glared at me like I had two poops on my head.
Lights out at 7 p.m. sharp. Breakfast at 5 a.m.
5 a.m., that's ridiculous.
Talking back and being disobedient will get you in a chokey.
A chokey? That can't be a real thing.
It is, and I can't wait for you to end up there.
Ha ha ha. Who was she? And what was she so excited about?
No phones or social media.
What? I'm gonna miss some of my Avatar stories on YouTube without my phone. Anyway, things just got even worse that night when I heard weird noises outside and saw a huge truck loading stuff into the barn in the backyard. I literally wanted to run away instantly because I sensed something really horrible was going on in there. Curious, I crept out to the barn to take a closer look. But just then, someone appeared behind me.
I knew you were up to no good, new girl.
You're the chokey girl.
You!
She glared at me angrily, but before she could answer, Mrs. John showed up.
What are you girls doing here when you should be sleeping? I caught her sneaking around, Mom. I was about to bring her to you. Thank you, Kylie. You can go back to bed now.
That little snitch!
You!
Oh gee, how did I get out here? I must have sleepwalked again. Oops, I'll just go back to sleep now. Nighty-night. As I rushed back to the house, I spotted a boy on the other side of the barn trying to hide. So, the next day, while everyone was busy, I pretend slept all the way to the barn and bumped butts with someone.
Hey, watch where you're. Wow, you're so pretty.
Are you seriously hitting on me right now? Dude!
Oh.
Wait, you're that guy I saw from last night. Nosy much?
Huh? Look who's talking. Anyway, I'm Isaac. We can't be seen here together. Come on.
He took me to a corner and revealed that he was new here, but he had a feeling that something strange was going on.
A truck goes out every night, comes back after 3 hours, then they offload stuff from it. The barn doors and windows are always tightly shut, so I don't know what's in there.
We should totally find out what's in there. Chill, I have an idea. So that night, after dinner, Isaac and I met up outside the barn, jumped into the truck, and hid in a corner behind a cardboard box. A few minutes later, we heard feet. The door was shut, and the truck started moving.
We have 30 minutes in and out just like we've done before. Got it?
What the heck was going on? A little while later, the truck pulled up, and after everyone left, Isaac and I came out. Ow, gosh, my legs fell asleep.
Well, better wake them up because we don't have much time.
And that's when I saw it. Holy smokes, I've been here before.
What?
It's the house the Johns had made me deliver cookies at the day they adopted me. We watched through the window as the masked kids turned the rooms in our view upside down, throwing anything valuable in a bag. Jewelry, paintings, even expensive cutlery. They were going for everything. Oh my goodness! They're robbing rich people. But where are the owners? Within minutes, they were done and rushed out as Isaac and I ran back into the truck and hid behind the box. By now, it had become clear that we'd been adopted by a bunch of crooks. We had to get to the bottom of this, so we came up with a plan. But as soon as we tried to sneak back into the mansion, we got caught.
What do we have here?
Why is she always trailing us? Hey, Kylie, you can't tell anyone you saw us, okay? Just let us in and we'll get you more pink hair dye. Come on, girl!
Do you think I'm stupid?
Kylie, come on!
Ma! Just then, Isaac covered her mouth and we dragged her outside.
Shh. I'll remove my hand if you promise not to scream.
Kylie, please, it's really important. I'll get you more. Another pink teddy. Everything pink. I'll work my butt off just for you. Just hear us out. Isaac, let go of her! And we explained where we were and what we had seen. But it was like talking to a brick wall.
I can't believe you'd accuse Mom and Dad of something like that.
They were right about you all along. I know you don't believe us, but we have proof. We just have to get into the barn. Then you can see the stuff they stole tonight. Kylie wasn't convinced, and we were determined to prove ourselves. Minutes later, we managed to break the barn door lock. But spoiler alert! There was nothing in there except cleaning detergents and materials, food supplies, and other boring stuff. What happened to all the jewelry and expensive stuff they stole earlier?
Now you're really in trouble.
Kylie! But it was too late! Mrs. John had heard the commotion and was standing right behind us.
They were in the truck and claiming that you guys are crooks or something. Thanks, Pet! You're doing a good job keeping an eye on the troublemakers.
Seriously, man, we saw where you were and what you did. Isaac, tell them!
I didn't see anything. I don't know what she's talking about, Mrs. J, by the way. Is that a new scarf? It looks amazing on you. I'll go back to bed now.
What? That freaking coward! Ugh, I was boiling with anger as I watched him practically run away.
Ha 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 ha! Your little boyfriend totally threw you under the bus. It must really suck to be you.
First of all, he's not my boyfriend. And secondly...
That's enough! Kylie, dear, I brought you your favorite marshmallows. Be a darling and let me talk to Nancy here.
She skipped out of the barn like she just won a lottery. For whatever reason, it was clear by now that she was the couple's little pet for sure. But the minute she walked out, Mrs. John turned cold as an iceberg. She doesn't know the truth, does she?
She's too slow and a little pathetic and talks too much. But you're smart! I knew the minute I saw you, you'd fit the team perfectly.
You won't get away with this.
I was gonna give you more time to settle in, but you seem very curious, so get ready for your second mission since you failed terribly on your first.
The next morning, I received an invitation and a red dress on my bed. According to this, I was expected to attend a very important ball in the next 3 days, and I was supposed to learn how to waltz. What in the freaking coconuts? I've never waltzed a day in my life. I wanted to rip off the dress, but to fulfill my mission, I had to agree to everything they said. 2 days of intense dance lessons and my trainer's swollen toes. Later, I was ready to go. I didn't even know who my dance partner was. I walked in and saw Isaac at the center stage in a freaking 2-piece suit. Gosh, was he always this handsome? It was like I was seeing him for the first time. And when he took my hand to the dance floor, I felt like a princess.
Wow, you look so beautiful.
Even his voice was melting my heart. Nope, nope, snap out of it, girl. This is not the time. Don't think I forgot how you left me alone the other day, you coward.
I'm sorry we had to carry out with the plan. They're watching our every move. If we fail, they might pin everything on us and send us to juvie.
Then let's do this before I pass out. I'm so freaking nervous. So, as planned, Isaac and I danced our way near the target's table and pulled our best moves, which left her pretty impressed. And when she was hooked, I grabbed the edge of the tablecloth. And when Isaac spun me, I pulled it, pouring drinks all over everyone on the table. And Isaac pretended to slip and landed on the waiter, carrying drinks and snacks in his hand. It was pure chaos, but just enough time for me to slip the flash drive into the mayor's wife's hand and whisper in her ear, "Please, please watch it and save the children." All right, you guys must be so lost, so let me catch you up on what happened between the day of the barn and the ball. Can you roll it all the way back? So, after Isaac chickened out that night, he didn't really leave the barn. We'd felt parts of the wooden floor creak earlier. So after everyone went to sleep that night, Isaac let me in the barn. And when we flipped the wood on the floor, we found a secret room with a bunch of laptops, tracking devices, crazy tools, all the jewelry, expensive paintings, and other stuff stolen from so many houses and rich people. And they had files on each kid and something to hold against us. So we never talked to the police. They were horrible. There were also cookie-shaped secret cameras, which must have been put in the boxes delivered to the targeted houses. But we needed help to expose the couple. So we showed everything to Kylie, and she was so heartbroken.
It was all a lie. How could they? I thought I finally got a family who'll take care of all my needs. I loved them, defended them, and trusted them. But now...
Hey! I know you must be feeling terrible. It's hard for us orphans when we come so close to a family and we lose them in a blink, isn't it? But listen, you don't need that couple to be your family. There are plenty good people out there. And I'm here for you too.
If you're done with your TED Talk, we have to come up with a plan.
Guys, I have an idea. They're going to pay for this.
She turned out to be pretty smart. So with her help, we found out that there would be a ball. And the Johns were planning to use us and other kids to steal from the mayor's wife and other rich guests at the ball. So we took pictures of everything thanks to a phone Kylie stole for us, recorded everything, and put it all in a flash disk. And that's how we ended up here. If you're watching this, Mrs. Mayor, I'm really sorry about your expensive Louis Vuitton. A few hours after the ball, the police raided the Johns' home and found everything as we'd presented it in the flash disk. The kids' records were also cleared, and they were put in good foster homes. After a few weeks, Isaac, Kylie, and I got sponsors who sent us to campus. Kylie and I studied to be social workers and help protect kids, while Isaac joined a police academy.
Hi, I'm Joy from Chicago. Please like and subscribe. My parents always loved to call me a unique child. When I was little, I was always making toy buildings out of random stuff. Seashells, bottles, cereal boxes, anything I could get my hands on. I was also kind of shy and found it more fun to help out with chores at home than play with other kids. One day, Mom was teaching me how to make pancakes when she suddenly stopped and stared at me.
Sweetie, what's the matter? Am I going too fast for you?
No, Mommy. Everything's fine.
But you keep blinking a lot, like there's something wrong.
I hadn't even realized it. So Mom took me to a doctor, and I got diagnosed with an excessive blinking condition. It was nothing serious, but in school, kids started making fun of me for it, and I'd mostly just stay away from them and sit alone. One day in 3rd grade, I was making a presentation, and this stupid boy kept interrupting.
Miss Brown, why does Joy blink so much?
Just keep quiet and listen to Joy's presentation, please.
But how can I listen when Joy's eyes are doing all the talking?
The whole class burst out laughing. Just then, this kid Martin walked over to the annoying boys' table.
Hey, don't talk about Joy like that.
Oh yeah, who are you, her boyfriend?
Martin jumped on him and the two started wrestling like crazy. They both ended up in detention for a week. So after school, I snuck into the detention room and sat next to Martin. Hey, thanks for sticking up for me.
I hate when people tease you. You're like the awesomest, smartest girl in our class.
I joined Martin for detention every day, and after that we hung out all the time. It turned out he even lived in my neighborhood. I'd always been a loner, but for the first time, I had a best friend. And it was amazing. Having Martin in my life made me less shy, and I changed a lot. We stayed super close through the years. But when we reached high school, Martin gave me some news one day.
My dad's business really took off, and we're moving to another neighborhood. I'm also going to a private school.
Wow, that's super cool, but I'll really miss you.
Hey, why don't you apply for a scholarship? Then we can still be at the same school.
My parents were happy for me to try to get into a better school, so I applied for the scholarship and I got in. Little did I know that it was the worst decision ever. On the first day of 9th grade, I almost fell over when I saw Martin. There he was, dressed head to toe in designer clothes, and was wearing a gold watch. Who are you and what did you do to my friend? And how much gel is in your hair? Dude!
This is just how the cool kids dress nowadays. You didn't know that?
No, should I?
Yeah, you should. You need a makeover, girl.
I just laughed and punched his arm. Later at lunch, a bunch of rich kids walked by our table. Hey, Martin! I've seen you around my neighborhood. Want to come to my party this Friday?
Sure. Can I bring Joy with me?
She'll have to buy new shoes first. I bet the one she's wearing right now came from a garbage dump. Hello? I'm right here, and I love these shoes.
Joy, she's joking. Calm down.
The girl walked away with her minions, and I felt so annoyed at Martin. How could he think that comment was a joke? Apparently, there were lots of kids at school who lived in Martin's neighborhood, and it seemed like he was becoming friends with them overnight. That next Monday, I didn't see Martin until lunchtime with his arm around a really pretty girl. Hey, saved a seat for you at our usual table.
Actually, I have a girlfriend now, so I'm gonna go sit with her.
Oh, okay, well, have fun. I went to sit by myself and watched Martin from afar. He looked happy, but he just wasn't acting like himself. As weeks went by, Martin got super handsome and muscular and really popular. I missed my friend, but I gave him his space. But one day, I caught Martin and his friends surrounding a younger kid, and Martin was reading his diary out loud.
Stephanie Twain, the love of my life since 5th grade.
I ran forward and snatched the diary from him. What are you doing?
What? I'm just here to entertain people. Reading idiots' diaries is my opening act.
Martin, why are you acting like this? Just because you're rich now doesn't mean you have to be a jerk.
You know what? I think you're just jealous because I have other friends now and I'm not a nerdy loser like you.
Look at me. I'm Joy, and all I do is study in the library because I have no life.
Then Martin started blinking really fast and shaking his head. Are you making fun of me? Before I could stop myself, I slapped Martin hard across the face and ran away from there. The whole rest of the day, I had to fight from crying. What a jerk! But when I got home, I forgot my troubles when I found Mom sitting in the kitchen looking really worried. What's wrong, Mom?
Joy, your dad and I are in serious debt. If we don't find a way to get some money soon, we could lose the house.
Lose the house? Are we gonna end up homeless?
No, I shouldn't have said anything. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it, honey.
But I did worry about it. I watched Avatar World videos on YouTube to take my mind off of things, but I didn't get much sleep that night. Weeks went by and things kept changing. I just focused on my studies and saw Martin from a distance turning into a completely different person. Then one day, a new guy named Cameron arrived at school. He looked like Harry Styles, and based on his Lamborghini, he was clearly rich. All the girls were drooling over him, but I just rolled my eyes and walked away. He was probably just another snooty brat, but I was surprised when Cameron came and sat next to me in my robotics class. He seemed super impressed with the robot bird I was building. I've been working on it for almost a year.
Are you like a genius? You can tell me the truth. You don't have to be modest.
Ha 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 ha. I laughed and ended up sitting with Cameron for lunch, and he never once made fun of my blinking or even asked about it. We were having a great time until Martin walked over.
Dude, what's a guy like you doing with someone like Joy? I'll introduce you to my friends. They're more your type.
Martin, why are you such a...
Sure, I'll come and say hi right now.
Cameron leaned over to me and whispered,
Trust me, you just sit back and enjoy the show.
I wondered what he was up to as he walked over to Martin's friends. And when Martin introduced his girlfriend, Cameron suddenly took her hand and kissed it.
I'm heading to a yacht party tonight. I'll offer you $500 to be my date.
His girlfriend instantly pushed Martin away and armed through Cameron's.
You got yourself a deal, cutie!
Wait, what the heck? I thought you really liked me.
Cameron pulled away from Martin's girlfriend.
Your friends really are something. I just wanted to show you that. And I don't like hanging out with fake people. Don't ever come near me or Joy again, okay?
Cameron walked back to me, and I saw Martin's face had turned really red as he stormed off furiously. I hoped he'd had some sense knocked into him. Later that week, I got some amazing news. My teachers wanted to enter my robot bird into a huge science fair with a big cash prize. If I won, I could help my parents out.
Your hard work is finally gonna pay off, Joy. I wish I were as talented.
Wait, what if you enter the science fair with me? You can help me with the finishing motion.
Are you serious? You're the coolest girl ever.
Cameron and I worked hard on it all month. The night of the fair, I reached the venue before Cameron, who was bringing the project. But hours passed and he just didn't show up. I called and texted frantically, but he wouldn't answer his phone. I was called to the stage empty-handed. The judges couldn't wait any longer. I was disqualified. But just as I was leaving the venue, Cameron showed up. Oh my God! Where were you? How could you let me down like that?
Joy, I'm so sorry. When I left the school with the project, all my tires were flat. 10 minutes later, I couldn't even call you because my phone wasn't in my bag. I don't know who stole it or slashed my tires, but I can make a guess.
Martin! I was burning with rage the next day when I saw Martin in school. I walked up to him and grabbed his collar. You heartless jerk! You did that to Cameron, didn't you?
Hey, back off! And yeah, I did, haha. But why are you so worked up? So your lover boy had to wait on the road for a while. Big deal!
It's not just about him, Martin. I missed the science fair because of what you did. You know, I've been working on that project for a year. Doesn't that mean anything to you? For a second, he looked taken aback, but then he just shrugged.
How was I supposed to know all that? Anyway, I did you a favor. You've been a nerdy loser since I met you. It's time you found a new hobby, Blinky.
I sprung forward and pushed Martin to the ground. I'm just through with you. I used to think you'd be the last person to ever hurt me, but I don't even recognize you now. You're just a big jerk bully. I turned around and fled from there. At that moment, I hated him so much. A few days later, I was studying at the library for exams and realized it was really late. As I walked out of the building, I heard laughter coming from the back alley. I went over to see what was going on and nearly fell backwards. Martin and his friends were spray painting the principal's brand new car. Are you crazy? What are you doing?
Ugh! What are you doing here, Joy?
Martin, just please stop this. You could get in so much trouble.
As if you care. Just keep walking and pretend you never saw this.
I had no choice but to leave, but seeing him this way was so frustrating. The next day when I went to school, all everyone was talking about was how the principal's car was wrecked, and he was raging mad. But in the third period, I was shocked when I was called to the principal's office.
I saw on the CCTV footage that you were on the premises last night when my car was destroyed.
But sir, I had nothing to do with it, I swear.
Oh, I know that. But I think you saw who did it.
I just stared back at him and then spoke. It was really dark. I wouldn't be able to tell you who it was for sure.
Joy, you're here at this school on a scholarship. If I don't have a name by Monday, you'll lose it for next year. I suggest you be smart and think about your future.
I walked out of the principal's office in shock. Just then, Cameron caught up with me.
Joy, what's going on? Why were you called to the principal's office?
I told him everything that had happened.
You can't just throw away your scholarship like that. You have to turn Martin in.
How can you even suggest that? He used to be my best friend, and I'm not a snitch.
He's not your best friend anymore. He's a jerk, and he deserves this. If he was a nice guy once, he's changed, Joy.
But I didn't change. I just can't do this, Cameron. I won't do this. I'll go to another school. It won't be as great as this one, but I'll be okay. Tears stung my eyes. I thought about the colleges and opportunities I'd never have now. But I was doing the right thing. That Monday, I went to the principal's office with a heavy heart, ready to lose my scholarship, but he told me the most shocking news. Martin had come to his office and confessed to destroying his car. So what's going to happen to him now?
He's already expelled, of course.
I couldn't believe it. Why did he suddenly confess? And he even took the fall for his friends. I found the other two brats who were with him that night snickering in the hallway, and I asked them.
We don't know why that loser did it. We'd all gotten away with it.
It wasn't his idea. He just does whatever we tell him to, always trying so hard to be one of us.
I've known Martin for years, and trust me, he's 10 times better than all of you. I shut them aside and left. I was totally off the hook, but Martin was gone for good. My head was spinning. But when I got home that day, I found my parents in the living room with huge smiles.
Joy, we have the most wonderful news. We're not in debt anymore.
Are you kidding? That's amazing. But how?
Some anonymous donor paid off all the money we owe for the house. Like, we have no idea who did it.
It was probably Cameron. He's an amazing friend. I just know it was him. I rushed to my phone to call Cameron and thank him. But suddenly, I realized Cameron didn't know my landlord or anything about my house. There was only one person outside my family who did. The next morning, I took a bus to Martin's new place and knocked on his door. Hey, I have a weird question. Did you pay off our mortgage?
Yeah, I did. But hey, don't worry about it. Our moms ran into each other, and your mom told my mom everything. I told my parents I'd help them out at work every weekend if they paid your loan.
Martin, I don't understand. I thought you hated me now.
Why would I hate you? Cameron told me what you did for me. After how horrible I've been. You were gonna give up your scholarship and ruin your future for me. I guess I'm not really surprised. because that's just who you are. The best friend one could ask for. I couldn't let you do that though. I got expelled, because I deserved it. And I'm really sorry about everything.
I was so touched to see Martin's teary eyes. Hey, don't make me cry, bro. It's okay. And thank you for apologizing. I'm just glad to see my old friend back.
Me too, and for the record, Cameron's a really good guy. You have my blessing to be with him.
Yeah, I didn't ask for your blessing, but thanks anyway.
Hi, I'm Juliet from LA. But thanks to my mom, I had to change my identity and become Jessica. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. My mom is French, and she moved to the US before I was born to become a successful actress. And she did get super famous. Her life was always in the spotlight, and that included me. I always loved the attention, and when I joined school, everyone knew me and wanted to be my friend. It was awesome, until one day, it wasn't. I was in the 5th grade when Mom took me to the opening of a fancy French restaurant. But when the head chef brought our food, I almost threw up. What is that?
Frog legs and baby snails, mademoiselle.
Ew! Gross! Could I just have some French fries, please? The chef gasped like I'd killed his mother.
You insult me. I make the best French food in the world.
So I asked for French fries.
I don't make French fries.
I'm going to McDonald's. You suck. I jumped off my chair and started running out to my car. Suddenly, I tripped and crashed straight into a waiter, and we both landed flat on our faces. I turned around to see everyone staring at me, and Mom looked mad. Okay, this was embarrassing, but who cares if some strangers saw me, right? Wrong. The next day, it was all over tabloid magazines and the internet. Pictures of me on the floor with my butt cheek showing. And in school, I was the butt of every joke. Literally. I was hating school now, but I found a way to escape. Soon, Mom was going abroad to film a movie for 6 months, and I begged her to take me along. And, well, I just never returned. I traveled the world with my mom and had private tutors, and when I turned 13, I got into modeling myself. Once, when I was 15, I was lounging in a pool chair when suddenly a puppy leapt at me and I screamed as it started chasing me. I ran indoors and crashed straight into someone, a rather cute, nerdy-looking boy. I muttered an apology and was walking away when he called out,
Hey look, it's Beyonce.
Oh my God! Where?
I don't really know why I said that. Hi, I'm Michael, a huge fan.
We actually ended up having dinner together, and it was the best time I'd had in ages. He was funny and clearly smitten with me. Later that night, I realized what was missing from my life. A boyfriend. Maybe it was time to go back to high school and get one. It would be easy for a famous teen model, right? Wrong. When we got back to LA, Mom had some shocking news for me. Turns out she had a new life plan, and that was Tariq, an Arab billionaire who was obsessed with her. They were getting married, and she was leaving her whole life behind, including me. What? How could you do that?
Oh, you know Tariq doesn't want any kids.
But how will I live on my own?
You'll be living with your aunt. You're young, with years of fame ahead, mon chéri. I have to think of myself now. My looks aren't going to last forever.
That was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Nope, wrong again. 2 days after their wedding, I woke up to hundreds of tags on Instagram. Apparently, Tariq was a diamond smuggler, and both he and Mom had been arrested in an airport. After that, my life was a mess. I couldn't go anywhere without being hounded by reporters.
How does it feel to be a criminal's daughter? Did you know anything?
Did your mother just abandon you and leave you with that crook?
It looked like any chance of going to high school and having a normal life was ruined. But then, I decided I wasn't gonna let all this stop me. There was one solution. I talked to Aunt about it, and she agreed. She hooked me up with hair and makeup professionals and a plastic surgeon. After dyeing my hair, learning how to put on makeup, and getting a nose job, I was unrecognizable. Now I was just a nobody named Jessica. Without my fame to fall back on, I was feeling lost on my first day of school. Just then, I saw a pretty girl standing by the notice board, and I walked up to her. Hi, I'm Jessica, and…
why are you talking to me?
I'm new here, and I was wondering if you'd help me find my class.
I'm new too. How should I know?
Right? Well, thanks anyway.
Okay, I'll be your friend. You don't have to beg. I'm Ashley, and I'll help you. You're welcome.
Ashley was kinda weird, but I was just glad to have a friend. And as we hung out more, I realized the tough, mean girl thing was just an act. A week later, I signed up for a charity bake sale in school. As Ashley helped me set up my stall, she popped a cookie in her mouth.
So yum. I'll buy all of them.
What? That's like 200 cookies.
It's for a good cause. Here, take my money.
What's wrong with my cookies, Ashley?
Nothing.
but I took a big bite of one and spat it out. That's disgusting. Did I use salt instead of sugar? Ashley burst out laughing, and so did I. You bought them all because they're so terrible. That's actually really sweet.
Unlike your cookies. You got some crumbs?
As Ashley brushed them off my mouth, I suddenly felt butterflies. What the heck? And that's when a flying basketball hit me right in the face and I blacked out. I opened my eyes to find myself in the nurse's room and two faces around me. One was Ashley and the other was Michael.
Thank God you're awake. I'm so sorry, Jessica. Right.
I wasn't imagining it. It really was Michael, and even cuter than I remembered, but he didn't know who I was, so I was really surprised when he said,
I feel terrible. Could I make this up to you by taking you out for dinner sometime?
As we exchanged numbers and he left, Ashley looked really annoyed.
Jessica, you don't even know the guy.
I'll get to know him when I date him. What's the matter, Ash?
Nothing. Whatever.
I started seeing Michael, and I was quite enjoying it, except that ever since he came along, I could feel Ashley being distant, and that was bothering me. One evening, when Michael dropped me at home, he suddenly drew me close.
Jessica, I really like you. I think I'm falling for you.
And then he kissed me. It was my very first kiss, and it was lovely. When I went to my room, I nearly screamed. Ashley was sitting on my bed, looking livid. Geez, you scared me! So you avoid me in school but break into my room. What's your problem anyway?
I don't want you dating Michael.
Why? Do you like him?
No, you idiot. I like you.
Oh, that does make more sense.
I know you're with Michael and I'm happy for you. Blah, blah, blah. But I just had to tell you. I guess we'll only be friends then.
But she came closer, and suddenly, she was kissing me. It was my very first kiss with a girl, and it was lovely. Just then, someone tapped on the window, and it was Michael looking mad.
You forgot your scarf. Want to tell me what's going on here?
As the two stared at me, I sank down on my bed. Guys, I'm so confused. I like you, Michael, really, but I like Ashley too. I know you two won't wait around for me to decide.
Oh, I will. I'm not giving up on us so easily.
Yeah, me neither. Why don't you date both of us for 2 weeks and then decide? Jess.
Wow, they were both willing to fight for me. This was amazing, and I agreed.
May the best man win.
Or woman.
My first date of the week was with Ashley, and she'd planned an amazing picnic. She fed me strawberries and read me poetry. It was so romantic. Just then, someone came and sat down next to us.
Fancy bumping into you guys here. I was just on my run.
Then why don't you run away and keep going till we can't see you?
Relax, I'm leaving. Oh, Jess, I gotta tell you what I've got planned for our date. It's epic.
He whipped out 2 tickets from his pocket for a Beyoncé concert. I shrieked and hugged him, but quickly pushed him away when I saw Ashley's face. The next night, I was having a blast at the concert with Michael when someone touched my shoulder. It was Ashley.
You're crashing our date?
Wonder where I got that idea from. But this isn't about you, dude. Jess, I got my dad to pull some strings and I have backstage passes. We can actually meet Beyoncé.
OMG, what?
What about me?
I don't know. Go home. I'll have Jessica dropped. Don't worry.
I felt sorry for poor Michael, but I wasn't missing a chance to meet Queen Bee. The next few days went the same way. They both kept planning amazing dates for me and kept ruining them for each other. One night, Ashley and I managed to have a romantic dinner without Michael dropping in, and she was kissing me goodnight at my door when suddenly the locket I was wearing got tangled with hers and fell off before I could pick it up. She did, and saw the picture inside.
Jess, why do you have a picture of this famous actress and her kid?
I should have lied, but I just didn't want to. That kid, it's me. And she's my mom. I told her how hard things got after Mom's arrest and how I just wanted a fresh start. She looked stunned, but then she hugged me tight.
Your secret's safe with me, Jessica. Or can I call you Juliet?
I think I'd like that. She was about to kiss me again when suddenly Michael sprang out of nowhere.
Hey, babe. I just dropped by with some cookie dough ice cream. Your favorite.
She just had dessert. She doesn't want your stupid ice cream.
Why don't you let her speak for yourself? Are you her lawyer?
Why don't you get a life and stop crashing our dates?
Why don't you jump off a bridge?
Enough! I'm so tired of this. You're so busy fighting each other, no one's even looking at me. This is not what I wanted. Figure out a way to make this work, or I'm done with you both. I snatched the ice cream from Michael and stormed off. They were being so annoying. But the next day, that was the least of my problems. Aunt woke me up to see the news, and I watched in horror. My secret was out. It was everywhere, and hundreds of reporters were gathered outside of our house, wanting to talk to me. What a nightmare. But what really hurt was that there was only one person who could have leaked that information. Ashley, how could you do this? I trusted you, and you took less than a second to betray me. How much did you get paid for this, Ashley?
I swear, Juliet, I didn't do it.
There's no one else who could. Stop lying, and don't ever talk to me again. Later that night, once all the media people had left, Michael paid me a visit.
How could you lie about this, Juliet? You should have told me who you really are.
Why? I didn't want to be that person anymore, and I just didn't want to tell anyone.
Obviously you told someone, it just wasn't me.
Michael, please!
Forget it, you lied to me. We're done.
In a day, I'd lost both my boyfriend and girlfriend, but I was too angry to care. Michael was only thinking of himself and not what I was going through. And Ashley, I'd never forgive her. One day, as I was wondering what I'd do next, I got the most unexpected call.
Oh, Juliet, I've missed you.
Mom, where are you? Mom then told me she got out of jail, got a divorce from Tariq, and settled in Paris.
I'm so sorry for leaving you and for everything I've put you through. I read all the news, but I must say, you're even prettier with your new nose job.
Why did you call me Mom?
Come to Paris, mon chéri. I know lots of agents here, and they would love to sign you. Don't hide away and waste your talent. You were meant to be a model.
I was still so mad at her, but I had to think about it. I was done with this place, and to be honest, I did miss my career. Maybe Paris was exactly what I needed. I still don't trust you, Mom, and don't expect that I'll forgive you anytime soon. But I did pack my bags for Paris, and I ended up loving it there. I joined the high school, and my modeling was picking up once more. Then one day, I read the most surprising news. The plastic surgeon who'd done my nose job was being sued for leaking the identities of many clients to the press. Oh my God, it was him, not Ashley. Just then, I heard the doorbell ring, and I opened the door to find Ashley standing there. Hi, how did you find me?
I begged your aunt to tell me. Juliet, I didn't betray you.
I know that now. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It's okay. Just tell me this. If none of this had happened, who would have won? Me or Michael?
Michael wasn't even close. It was you, Ashley. It's you. And then I kissed her.
Hi, I'm Kate from New York, and this is my story. Please like and subscribe. I was born to the CEOs of a multi-million-dollar aerospace company. I grew up with everything a kid could want, and then some. But I was practically raised by my nannies. Since my parents were always busy, they tried to make time for me. But I didn't really have their attention, and I craved it. I think that's why I was in such a hurry to start talking. I was forming my first words when I was only 1, and by the time I was 2, I could speak short sentences. And once I started talking properly, a rocket couldn't have stopped me.
How was your first day of school, honey?
Oh, it was so good. I felt kind of scared. But then the teacher with the black hair and the green eyes and the big ears came and took me to class. And my classroom is so nice and it's all yellow and there was 21. No, 20 kids. And they're all my friends. That's because I gave them all markers. And my first class was about alphabets, and it was boring. And then I saw a boy's butt crack, and I started laughing at it, and the teacher looked mad. But then...
Sweetie, that's lovely. Why don't you just eat your food?
Now I was at the best part, Daddy. Now I have to start again. Okay, so my first day of school. I just had this need to interact with people. I chatted to strangers in the park, at the grocery store, at the cinema. When my friends came over for playdates, I had tried to make them stay as long as I possibly could. But you haven't seen our basement yet. It's really cool, and I think it's haunted. And you still haven't met my imaginary friends. Okay, how about I show you my magic tricks? I even talked to people in my sleep. My parents found me exhausting, and soon my teachers started complaining about my disruptive behavior in class. I was tested for ADHD, but there wasn't anything wrong with me.
She's very bright and just seeks attention a little more than other kids. It's not uncommon in an only child, and she'll grow out of it. Do you spend quality time with her?
Well, we try.
But we're very, very busy.
The doctor recommended some activities we could do together every day, but of course my parents couldn't keep up. Then one day, when I was 8, my whole life changed. I got home from school to find my parents in the living room with a beautiful older girl who didn't look very happy.
Kate, we have some exciting news. Come meet Lola. She's 11 and she's your new sister.
She's my sister? But I didn't see your tummy growing. Mom, where does she come from? Why is she so big? Why is her hair red? What?
Honey, she's our employee's daughter and we've adopted her. I'll explain to you later what that means. Why don't you say hello and show her to her room?
Lola still hadn't spoken a word, but I talked nonstop as I took her hand and led her away. And then she shut my mouth with a huge ice cream. She didn't even come down for dinner later. My parents said she just needed time to adjust and I should give her space. I tried really hard, but I just couldn't fall asleep and crept into her room. I quietly opened the door and found her sitting next to a carton, crying. Lola, what's wrong?
Nothing. I was just looking at some old things and it made me sad.
Ooh, space boots.
My dad got them for me when I was your age. I always wanted to be an astronaut.
Well, you should. It'll be so cool.
Yeah, but my dad won't be there to see me become one.
As the tears rolled down her cheeks, I suddenly hugged her tight and she didn't push me away. I'll be there to see you take off on a rocket. I'll always be there for you, Lola. Lola smiled, then suddenly hopped onto the armchair and held out a hand to me.
Want to take a closer look at the Milky Way? Welcome aboard the North Star Express.
We imagined flying through the universe, dodging meteors and alien spaceships, and it was the best night of my life. And I quickly grew to love Lola. She had long red hair that she let me braid as much as I wanted. She'd play with me whenever I asked, even if she was in the middle of something. And soon, I became as obsessed with everything space-related as she was. Lola was an excellent student too, and she helped me with my studies. But my teacher still complained about my behavior, and Lola had a solution for that too.
I used to get really scared of making speeches in class, so my dad showed me a trick. I'd hold on to a penny so I could channel all my fear into it. It totally works. So whenever you feel the urge to talk during lessons, just hold on to this and channel all your energy into it and save all your stories for me.
My parents were so proud of my progress, and they adored Lola. Life seemed perfect. But then Lola started high school, and everything started changing. She cut her beautiful hair short and changed her wardrobe. And when I asked her to do something with me, she always had an excuse.
I have a club meeting after school. I'm meeting up with a couple of friends. I have a paper to finish. Sorry.
On the weekends, she started interning at my parents' company, and we spent no time together. But the perfect opportunity came on my 13th birthday, when my parents gifted me tickets to an amazing space park and even arranged a hotel stay for me and Lola. I'd barely seen her at home lately, so the next day at school, I ran over to her at recess. Hey Lola, guess what we're doing on my birthday? We're going to Space World, and we'll have the whole weekend to ourselves. Woohoo!
This weekend? I completely forgot it was your birthday. I am going to a concert with my friends.
What do you mean? It's my birthday. Birthday.
Well, we can do it another weekend.
But how could you forget? If you won't come to Space World, then at least take me to the concert with you.
No way! No toddlers allowed!
Of course I'm not bringing her.
We always spend our birthdays together. Lola, what's wrong with you? You've changed so much. And now...
Will you stop being a baby? The universe doesn't revolve around you. I have a life and it doesn't have to include you all the time. Why can't you make friends of your own? You're being annoying.
Lola had never spoken to me that way before, and I ran off before she could see my tears. I hid in the janitor's closet and was crying my eyes out when suddenly I jumped out of my skin. A boy from my class, Jamie, was sitting on a bucket and casually eating his lunch. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
I'm crying. Can't you see?
I'm eating a sandwich, can't you see? Do you want one?
This is really not a good sandwich.
Oh, I know that. And I have to eat 2 every day. My sister never eats her lunch because she hates it. And I don't want to hurt Mom's feelings.
But why are you hiding in the closet? Aren't you one of the cool skateboarding kids?
Yeah, but I like being alone sometimes. I have 3 older sisters, and the youngest one who practically lives in my room. She's so annoying.
My house is almost empty, and my sister's too busy for me. She's like you. I guess she finds me annoying now.
Yeah. So how about you back off a bit? And dude, your house sounds like heaven.
Jamie and I became friends that day, and soon I started inviting him over. We play video games and have catching fish matches. He even taught me how to skate. And maybe he was right. I just needed to give Lola some space to fix things between us, except they got so much worse. Over a few months, Lola changed into this person I no longer recognized. She suddenly ended the internship, saying she didn't want to work at my parents' company anymore. One day, I walked past her room to see that she'd torn down her Neil Armstrong poster and replaced it with Justin Bieber. She was never home for dinner because she was out with her friends, and even her grades began to suffer. Late one night in 9th grade, when my parents were away, I woke up to some sound and spotted Lola outside in the garden, kissing a strange boy. I sneaked out to get a closer look, but then they both climbed onto his bike and left. I hopped onto my skateboard and rode fast to keep up. And to my surprise, they ended up outside my parents' company and then started putting on ski masks and gloves.
We don't have a lot of time. The security guards will be coming by in an hour. I'll get you into the system, and you have to make sure the software is completely wrecked. Okay?
Are you sure about this?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, just checking. It'll only take me 30 minutes, babe.
Hold it! What do you think you're doing, Lola?
Kate, did you follow me here?
Yeah, and good thing I did. Are you insane? Why are you planning on wrecking our parents' software?
Your parents are not my parents, and there are things you won't understand.
I'm not a kid anymore, so try me.
You wouldn't believe me if I did, but trust me, your parents deserve this.
After adopting you and raising you as their own kid?
They only adopted me to be your companion. They were too busy to deal with you themselves, so they dumped you on me.
That's what I am, a burden you got dumped with. I thought I was your sister, and you've been my everything. I've always looked up to you, and now I don't even know who you are.
I didn't ask you to make me your role model, and you're right. You don't know me, and you don't even know your parents.
What do you mean? Please, Lola, let's just go home and talk, okay? I'm not letting you into that building anyway. I'll call security myself this minute if you try. Lola looked furious, then took her boyfriend's hand and left with him. Feeling shaken, I was riding back on my skateboard when I missed a speed bump and went flying. My head hit the ground and everything went black. When I woke up, I was in the hospital with my parents, Lola and Jamie in the room.
Oh, thank God you're finally awake.
We still can't believe that you went out riding alone so late at night. If Lola hadn't found you.
I looked over at Lola, sitting with her head hanging, and then she quietly left. I was discharged soon from the hospital, and I knew I just had to talk to Lola soon. But the next morning, when I went to her room, she was gone. My parents reported her missing to the police, and they searched high and low, but it seemed like she just vanished. Mom, Dad, why do you think she was so mad at you guys? You must have some idea.
Sweetheart, we don't know really.
We'll find her, and whatever it is, we'll fix it.
But months went by with no news, and I almost gave up hope. I even shut out Jamie, and my grades were falling rapidly. I just wanted to know if my sister was okay. One rainy day, I was walking out of a coffee shop when I spotted a girl with red hair getting onto a bus, and she turned her face just a little. Lola! I started running after the bus, calling her name, but it just kept going faster. Suddenly, I slipped on a puddle and landed on the pavement. I looked up to see the bus getting smaller in the distance, and my heart broke all over again. Just then, someone helped me up. It was Jamie. He pulled me into a hug and I cried like a baby.
The girl on the bus that wasn't Lola. I got off that same bus and I saw her too. It wasn't her.
Do you think Lola's okay?
Yeah, I think so. She's almost a grown-up, Kate. You can't find her because she doesn't want to be found yet. Till then, you can have all 4 of my sisters.
I started hanging out with Jamie again, and slowly, I started getting better. By the time we graduated high school, we'd started dating. I began my degree in astrophysics because I still wanted to be an astronaut, just like Lola and I had dreamt. My parents asked me to visit them one weekend at their office. And when I entered, I was completely shocked to see Lola inside. She looked thinner, but as beautiful as always.
Kate, we were waiting for you to start. Lola is here because she's suing our company.
What? Why?
Because your parents are responsible for what happened to my dad.
What?
When I started working as an intern here, I wanted to know more about Dad's accident at work. I looked into his records and realized that he'd been working 80 hours a week. Sometimes he'd work both day and night shifts. I'd hardly see him at home. Because you guys worked him so hard, you caused his heart attack.
Lola, he never mentioned any medical condition in his records, and he requested to work overtime for extra money. It was his choice.
But it's way beyond the legal limit, and you should have never allowed it.
My parents stepped out of the room with their lawyer while my head was still spinning. When they returned moments later, my dad spoke.
We don't want to fight our daughter, and you're right, Lola. We never should have allowed that. We didn't realize the toll it might take on him. We'll pay whatever damages you've demanded with our deepest apologies. And we can't replace your dad, but you will always have a family to come to if you want it.
Lola teared up and left the room wordlessly, and I followed. No! You don't get to do that again. You're gonna leave without even speaking to me? If only you talked before.
I was so angry. I felt rage every time I thought about my dad and the life I never got to have with him. I don't want your parents' money. I just wanted to make them suffer. But I can see I've already done that. Maybe it was nobody's fault.
Just come home, please.
I can't, but I'll make plans to see you in a few days. I promise.
And she kept her word when she met me at a cafe a week later with a beautiful red-haired baby. Is this your daughter? Lola then told me that she'd moved to another town with her boyfriend, who she was still happily with, and she'd put herself through community college to study engineering and had also been working on the side.
I was so driven to save up for a lawyer to fight your parents, and I've caused everyone so much pain. Most of all you. I am so sorry.
You were in pain yourself, Lola. Just come back and be an astronaut with me.
I don't think that's my dream anymore, Kate. It hasn't been for a while. But I'm so proud that you're pursuing yours, and I'll be there to see you take off on a rocket, and I'll always be a part of your life.